Today we are going to talk about parts of a circle. So a circle is not a polygon because it is not straight-sided. It is closed, but without those straight sides, it can't be a polygon. So a free-handed circle here has a center point. And that's how we name the circle. So just like on coordinate grids, we plot the points and we will give them a letter. Same thing goes for circles. So we could say that this is circle A because the center point is labeled as A. Now from the center point, they connect equally to the sides of the circle. So because it's in the dead center, no matter where I go to the edge of the circle, this distance should be the same as the other one. And then those also get a label. For example, that would be B, and it's on the side of the circle, and like this would be C. Now, if it goes from the center point to the edge of the circle, it has a special name, and that is called a radius. So the radius, in this case, is we have radius AB, and we also have a radius of AC because they both go from the center point to the outside of the circle. So I'm going to make that side note here that a radius is center to side. Okay? From the center to the side. Now, the other element we have in a circle is called a diameter. Now, a diameter goes from one side of the circle through the center point and out to the other side of the circle. And I'll label this one D. So a diameter here in this case would be DB. We have no other diameters here because none of them go from one side through the center point straight, I should say straight through the center point to the other side of the circle. So it looks like, oh, it goes from D to A to C. That's not a diameter, okay? Because it is not straight through the center point. So we have to go from side through, and I should say that word, straight. Let's be precise, right? Side, straight, through center, to the other side, okay? Now, what you notice then maybe is that when we create a diameter, it technically creates what else? We have AB as a radius, but when I connected to it to make a diameter, it made another radius. So I also have a radius of now AD too. So two radii, that's how you say it, there's more than one. So two radii together make a diameter. And because of this, we can create a formula. So the diameter is always 2 times the radius because it's half of the diameter. So if we ever wanted to find the radius, we could do the diameter divided by 2. So depending on which one I give you, you can calculate it. Let's use one as an example. So if I had AB and I told you the radius was 3 inches, could you figure out the diameter? Of course you could, because the radius is 3. I multiply that by 2 and I get the diameter of 6. So you know this whole thing is 6 inches then, okay? Well, let's try another one. And this time I'm going to show you how to use this tool. This is not a weapon. This is a math tool. This is called a compass. No, not like a compass rose. It's a compass used to draw circles. And what it does is you open it up, and this would be your radius. So this would be your center point. I'm going to keep this really still, And then my pencil is going to trace around lightly around the center point to make my complete circle. Now, this can be done in a couple of different ways. I can twist it. I find that a little bit more challenging. So I like to kind of twist my paper around, and that helps me be able to keep a steady pressure on the center point. So you can see my circle. And I can see my little dent where I made my center point. So let's call this circle B this time. So we have circle B. And let's say, and I'm going to draw perfectly straight. What did I just draw there? What is that called? If it goes through the center point from side to side, it's a diameter. And let's call this one A and that one C. And if I told you the diameter of this one was, I'll make an easy one, not a hard one. 9. The diameter was 9. Then what would the radius? So what is the measurement? How about the measurement of radius AB? So you would take that 9, because it's the diameter. You would divide it by 2. Now, remember, we work in a world of no longer just whole numbers. So don't tell me that nothing divided by, or 2 divided by 9, or 9 divided by 2 doesn't work because there's leftovers. We know that that's 9 divided by 2, and 2 can go into 9 4 times, and that we would have 1 left over. So that would be 4.5. So each of the radii are 4.5. 4.5. So you can calculate that depending on which one I give you. Okay, so we'll be playing with compasses this year, maybe, but mainly calculating those when given either the radius or the diameter and figuring out what those measurements are. It's not until you do 7th grade math when you actually talk about the circumference. So I know that's a common term you've heard of with circles, but it's something we're not going to explore more until around 7th grade. All right, let's see how you do on your practice of calculating the measurement of radii and diameters.